Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
I'm just going to live in this sweater like all winter. I'd love to show you all some other sweaters I've made, but guess what? Especially at my house right now, trying to keep the heat low, which means I dress warm. So, hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in rainy and kind of yucky, but at least it's not torrential downpouring Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
You're trying to eat breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have breakfast either, but at least I chugged my coffee before I came in. That's all. All right. Hi. So we're as usual. What else is new? Running a little late. We have maybe half an hour, a little less right now. And I did a lot of filming this weekend on my phone and haven't deleted it, so we'll see if this keeps up. We're going to keep an eye on the recording thing. I think we get a little bit more out of it, like a few episodes before my phone is like, no, there's no more space. Okay. I filmed yesterday for a cables video, which is up, which ended up being like 40 minutes. Like, I put a lot in, like, there's a lot of stuff. If you don't want to watch a whole lot of stuff about cables, don't watch it. And I also filmed to make a video about blocking my Scottish Highlands shawl. So, I haven't deleted anything yet because I still need that. Why do I feel like this is a personal issue? I feel like it's a lot closer, but maybe it's just angled down at the... Some of this is from filming the VSC last week. And some of this is,
It took us a good 5 minutes to get space for us to film.
Chaos. Vikings came to the shop over the weekend. We love y'all. Thank you very much. But Vikings. And chaos. And, yeah. I think you can see us, and that's good enough, right?
I told my brother, like, multiple shiploads of Vikings came from all directions. And he goes, that's not a thing. And I'm like, it was a thing.
And sometimes they didn't even wait. Like, they didn't even space themselves out. They were spaced out, but then somewhat on top of each other, too. Which, you know, I hear all of you out there. It's a good problem to have,
It was
right?
like a yarn crawl day.
But it's no problem. I know. So weird. In the middle of January.
Yeah.
That was almost a lip-readable thing I just mouthed, so I just tried not to. I'm trying to keep this family friendly. I'm really trying. Hi.
Second or third ring.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about rings of the yoke of Liz's... Hey, why don't you show that off, Liz? Dry winter. I need to moisturize. What?
The rings of the sweater. And then I worked on it a little bit. So the red is where I started the sleeveys.
Yeah, but
it's not
hold upable.
Hold up.
Yeah, it is. See that? That's hold upable.
Because the sleeves are like...
Can I see? I'm not going to pull.
It's got like a billion balls.
See, look. These are the rings we're talking about. And she's making progress on the sleeve. I think I'll get that. My fault.
I told you, it's like a billion balls.
It hit my foot. Now I understand what she was saying. But I was just like, you could do it. Yeah. She was, I think you saw it when she held up the sleeves. So that's got a heft to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a warm sweater. It better get cold again.
Oh, it will.
So is that meant to be like a winter coat, almost like to go outside?
A nice winter sweater. Yeah. I mean, it's thick. I'm double stranding sport weight
like,
Shetland wool. So it's all fluffing to fill the space. I'm doing it on 10.5 needles.
So it's like a bulky, but on an appropriate bulky needle.
Yes.
And you usually go bigger often. So it's got a tight heft to it. It's nice. I'm looking for my coffee, but I finished it in the car.
I have to say, the Shetland, the stitch definition is beautiful.
It's very pretty.
So
that's fantastic for the Morse code.
Yes.
The rings that we need to vent about. You know, we say, this ring is what I'm on. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah.
Yeah.
What your other one is coming along nicely too. Why don't you show that one off too?
This one I actually put on stitch holders, so it looks like I got more progress done.
Well, I mean, it looks like you did get more progress done.
If it was all jammed on the needles, and I had because I'm doing
what happened was.
Yeah, I had 7 or 8 increase and set rounds to go when I picked this up on Sunday.
Okay, and like during the virtual sit and
during
stitch
virtual sit and stitch, I alternated between this and my striped sweater.
Okay,
and when we got done, I was like, oh, I only have 3 increase and set rounds. I can knock that out on, and
it's a lot of stitches at that point because you've done all your increases. It's like it's not just the torso; it's your torso and your shoulders. It's
and
really
for the
big at that
size
point.
I'm making, there's over 300 before you take off your sleeves, and so it's all jammed on my needle.
So it doesn't look like as much.
And I got to the
I'm her subtitles.
Okay, it theoretically is time to take off my sleeves, and it went for sizes extra large and double X. You need to do 2 to 4 more rounds, and I was like, no.
Poop.
And at that point, I was like, well, I might as well, because it's a pretty deep raglan. Like the raglan goes from the collar. I mean, it's it's really cool. But
what pattern is that?
This is the sweater number 6.
Sweater number 6.
It's
look for that in the description of this video.
I want to say my favorite things or something. It's gorgeous. I like it. I showed Mom and I showed her the colors individually because it's a teal mohair, brown yak.
No, you don't have to open that up. Just. I'm sorry. I'm directing the episode here. See? Okay. I'm sorry. You said teal mohair, brown yak,
and a
lime green almost.
Yeah.
And that one's got that's
a little bit of cashmere in it.
Yeah. That's the Neighborhood Fiber Company.
Yeah. So once again, another winter sweater, and I showed her the colors individually, and she was like, "Uh-huh." And then I showed her this, and she was like, "Oh, cool."
Like she didn't like the colors by themselves, or she didn't think they would combine well.
By themselves, it's like, huh? I'm like, and she's like, "Oh."
Well, green. She likes the green. She likes the browns.
Olivey, yeah.
Yeah, and see, it looks a little more olivey when it's all together. Yeah. So I could see how she would be like, ooh.
But I'm liking how it marls all out, and it has this teal halo.
I think, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like if you look at the edge of it, it's got a teal little halo. This is a great example of marling. Hold that up one more time. Like when you marl 3 different yarns held together. Different strands, and you really can't control that. Different strands are going to pop in different stitches. So it's all over busy, but it's not even all over busy, but from afar it will look like one color perhaps, but it's really, it's a neat effect. Yeah. If you want some pizzazz. And
you think that one's heavy. That one's
heavier.
That one's heavier.
It could be because there's more stitching done on it. But yes, this one's got, I can tell that one will be warm, but I don't think it's as heavy as the other one. And you might think
it's dense.
Yeah. And that's the mohair fills in the spaces. Yeah. I think that's actually going to be like this one, warm but not super
oh no,
heavy.
It'll be a cloud of fire. I already know how this game is played.
Okay. All these options for cold weather. What are you going to do when it warms up?
Save them for winter. Winter's always
coming. Put them away. I don't cycle through, I don't have a summer wear and a winter wear and I switch over like people do that at home. I don't. I have everything. And did I send you the reel that had it was vocabulary for something, and that's not really important, but the word that stuck out to me and the reason I sent it to you was floordrobe.
Oh, yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah. We call it her floor closet, which is great, but I just thought that was really
neat. Floordrobe.
Floordrobe instead of wardrobe. I was like, oh, perfect. Anyway. I don't have a floordrobe, but I do have, I have this bureau with all these drawers, and I maybe use 2 of them. because I have a limited wardrobe, which is fine. I come in and cycle through the sweaters that are here in the shop for everybody to look at. So,
no, I told when I told Mom about the mohair, I was like, they're all warm things, and then there's the mohair. It's the devil's yarn. It adds heat.
Spontaneous combustion.
Yes.
So when it's really, really cold,
Yes.
that's necessary. You can, like, internal combustion engine going, right? Okay, where to start? Because I did some things.
A lot.
I did a lot. Okay, let's start at the beginning. In that, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so I finished this 2 weeks ago, but I hadn't blocked it yet. This is the one that I was saying I filmed for. I finally blocked my Scottish Highlands, and it's so lacy and pretty now because I aggressively blocked it.
Oh
so
my
you'll have to
gosh.
go back 2 weeks, right? I think I'm holding... No, good, I have that the right way. You'll have to go back 2 weeks to find the unblocked version.
It's
And
like transparent.
It's transparent now because I pulled it. I really aggressively blocked it. When I held it up for filming, pre-blocking, I could only stretch it this far. And now I've got I've got a good extra...
I know there's 6 to 8 inches.
6 to 8 inches off the edges. But do you remember how, like, wibble-wobbly it was? I really stretched it because I wanted the lace to show. So take a look at this.
That is just...
Take a look at that lace work.
It is gorgeous.
If anything, I kind of... Here, could you hold up... You don't have to necessarily get up, but you have. Hold up one corner because I have the light mohair, so it's hard to see. And,
oh my gosh.
Right? I still haven't woven any of my ends in, but maybe against the darker backgrounds here, you can see some of the lace work that went into... Like, it really is transparent. Holy crap.
That is gorgeous.
Isn't that gorgeous? And it might shrink up a little bit. Like, I really did... I had a purpose to aggressively block this. It might kind of bounce back a little with wear. But I wanted this to be... The lace to be super visible. And in some ways, I feel like it's not super visible against my sweater. Here, let me see if I can... I'm wearing yellow today. I'm wearing one of our yellow shirts. Maybe, yeah. Oh, see, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Showing that off against my yellow a little bit. Oh, and now I'm holding it backwards, so. So, this is the Scottish Highlands shawl by Kay Hopkins. Take a look at that lace work down there against the... If I wore my blue... Oh, actually, look at that. If I put it right up against... Put it on my tummy.
It looks so pretty.
I played around with it with blocking. I pulled a few spots, and then I realized... The points of this, she has some final row things, and I'll try to sit down again. She has some final row increases that should give you some leeway for blocking if you want points, but it's not going to make points on its own. I pulled each one of these little archways to give it this scalloped edge. You could have totally probably blocked this without the scallopy edges. And honestly, over time, it won't be that. Like, this is already less pointy than when I pulled it out and blocked it. I can put a picture in at the end if I remember of what the, how pointy I made this. It's already a lot less pointy. And honestly, the more I wear it, the more these little nubs will probably become less pointy. And that's okay. So some of blocking is like going to make it crisp. But then over time, I mean, I'm not starching it. It is a fluid garment. It is soft yarn. Over time, these little points may not stay little points. And I'm going to be okay with that because it is a soft garment. But it was kind of fun to block it, to just try to give it some definition. Regardless, I think the lace work on this is going to stay really pretty. But right now, this is as good as it's going to get. And here, let me do a couple things with this, and then I'll show off my other things. So if I wear it the traditional way, like I like lace work and fingering weight shawls because they are lightweight. So if I wear it like this, it's super cute. But then on the back side, again, my bum, pull this over my bum. That will show off the lace work really, really well, right? Do I have fuzzies on my butt?
You had fuzzies on your butt.
That's what friends are for. But the other way that I like to wear shawls, because I don't wrap them around, I don't wear them like almost like coats as much as Liz does.
Like, wearing it over your shoulders is great if you're in air conditioning in the summer and you need just something light to cover the top of your arms.
So I like to wear them like scarves, and usually that means putting the point in front, right under my chin, and wrapping the edges around. Again, have not woven any ends in, but then that can cover your whole front, and like when I sit down, you're not going to see the point, but look how pretty that could be if you wear it like that, right? So, I finished this shawl. Yay. Other things, I made some progress on a bunch of things, so I will show those off before we have to wrap up for today. Some stuff I kind of was working on either for morning meditations on Instagram or during our virtual sit and stitch on Sunday. A few of them I tried to at least get to the end of the ball of yarn I had at home. That was my goal for a couple of these. So, since we're doing our cables knit along, this is not one of the, our winter knit along on cables. I have chosen the focus of the Lazy Sunday collection by Tin Can Knits. And this is not part of that collection, but it's something with cables on needles. So I picked it up again. I was like, I'm trying to gear things up for Finish It February, right? Finish It or Frog It February. So this is, I'm making the Auxin shawl from PomPom 42. And I just finished, this is like my third or fourth, I think it's my third ball of the Saxony. And I am in the last repeat. You start at the bottom, and each repeat has one more leaf in it, and I'm at the top where there are 8 leaves. And yes, it's going to be an expensive shawl because the Saxony has cashmere and it's expensive. But isn't it pretty? I'm really loving this. So, but I didn't have more balls at home. I had to come in to get more. It is getting a little squished on these needles. This is the last repeat. It's going to be just a very, very deep triangle shawl. And it's going to have really thick ribbing around the bottom 2 edges. It's going to have ribbing that sticks out a good, 3-4 inches. So that's the next part. That part won't be cables. Won't be quite as fun. But I got as far as I could with this. Made some good progress because it's a whole repeat or more. I want to say, okay, so here is where I started this ball. So it only got me like a good 6 inches of depth because it's getting really wide. They're 50-gram balls, so they only get you so far. I think everywhere else though I tried to spit join, and there was a knot with about 2 or 3 yards left of yarn, and I was really close to the end of the row, so I spit joined it, and it kind of worked. It worked enough for me to keep knitting, so hopefully it won't unravel in the middle here where I tried to spit join it. That's when it's 100% animal fiber, not superwash. You can get both ends wet, overlap them, and use friction. It works better with wool. Like the cashmere in this kind of offsets it a slight hair from doing what it should or what it could. But I've managed to spit join in a few spots. That's one of the reasons why it's hard to tell how many balls is in this, but I could always weigh it and figure it out. I need to really cram it up into a little ball and stick it on one of our scales here. All right, so that is something that I worked on and got as far as I could with the yarn I had at home. The thing I'm making that is part of the knit along, I've already made the timber mitts, and I'm going to do a class on that January 28th and February 11th, 2-part class. And I've made the westerly hat, and now I'm really, really tempted to make the snow globe hat out of this cashmere and merino because it's so yummy. I'm going to do a class. Again, these are in-person classes on February 4th and 18th on your choice of the westerly or the snow globe. Pick a hat. Only one of those 2, though, to do a hat with cables, to help you learn cables or practice cables. And what I am making as part of the knit along for the moment is, and did I really? Oh no, I think I'm in the middle of a row. Okay. I was like, did I really get all messed up on this? I think I'm in the middle of a row.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm doing the Tarn blanket, and this is how far one skein got me. It's a little hard to show off the bottom corner because I am in the middle of the row because I just ran out of that first skein of yarn. But I managed to get through, its garter increases from the center out, and you reach a certain number of stitches. I'm making the smallest size so I can pop this guy out, right? And I have just hit the ribbing on the outside edge, which is going to turn into cables. I think this is the last row before the cables, but I didn't quite make it to the cables. I did run out of yarn, so I need a second skein of yarn, but you can see how wide that is. And I was saying to Liz, it's really weird that, you know, the yardage that Tin Can Knits put down for this said I might need 3 or 4 balls of yarn, but the first ball got me all the way through all the ribbing on the inside, or the garter on the inside. And you said Shawls, because this is kind of like a little mini Shawl, which has like a center and then lace work or something around the outside edge, can eat up a lot more yarn on the outside edges, right? And cables can eat up more yarn too. So stay tuned to see.
Because how deep are the cables?
It's probably going to be as wide as the inside. It's probably going to be another,
because you look at each side and add.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like this distance from the center to the side is how big the cables are going to spread out again. The cables are really neat because it takes like 4 rows for the whole cable to do the whole twist. So it's just really neat. Like if you want to make the shawl version of this, so you don't have the complication of the 2 needles like I have, I highly recommend it. I think it's going to be super, super pretty. It's the one that caught my eye the most of all the patterns. So stay tuned. I'm using Cascade 220 Superwash for this. This is the Tarn, Tarn. And the Cascade 220 Superwash is not online yet. I want to say this is written for worsted weight, and the 220 Superwash is technically a hair thinner than that, but it makes for extra squishy, fluffy. So, extra drape. So that guy I got until I ran out of yarn. This one isn't running out of yarn, but because I'm trying to hit different projects, I got back to my Reluctant Homeschooler. I think this is the last thing I have to show off for today. Just yesterday, so I did it for morning meditation, and then of course when I had any time left, I didn't start a new thing or get back to another project. I kept working on the one I picked up in the morning, and
You've gotten lots of work done.
Mm-hmm. This is the 3rd ball of yarn. So 2 balls of yarn, and the 3rd ball of yarn. This is Berroco Wizard, which is a chunky, but it doesn't look as thick as a chunky because it's a chainette. Chainette yarns will look thinner than they have been designated, but you want to knit them on a bigger needle than you think you should by eyeballing it because you want to let it trap air in the center. So I'm knitting on a size 11 needle. I have made it... I can use my thumb.
About
like 2 inches since I... Yeah. See? She knows too. We can eyeball this. Kind of. I'm getting better at this since I changed yarns. And that's what I did yesterday morning. Like, this is how fast you can build with size 11 needles. I'm also a decently fast knitter. I showed how I change balls of yarn for my morning reel yesterday. So I've done about 2 inches since then. This is a Bottomups Cardigan. So we have too many mountains of stuff to show you all. You're supposed to only go till about 11.5 inches before you start the V-neck, and then the V-neck takes up a couple more inches, and then you're at the armhole by about 13 inches. I'm going to about 13 or so, or I'm adding a couple inches, 13.5 inches. Before I start the V-neck, because I like a little more room to cover my bum and cover any muffiny things happening in here. So I'm going a little longer, but 2 inches. Go ahead. What?
Question.
In
your, because this is your 3rd ball, right?
Yes.
In your 3 balls, does that just that, or does that include any other pieces?
That's what I was about to say. is shy of these 2 inches. So at a like 10.5 inches of this, and the sleeves, and the 2 pockets, which I found, but they're in there. Pockets are like, maybe they're maybe a quarter of this. Was all done with 2 balls. This whole sweater, according to Caitlin Hunter's yardage, should take me 4 balls of the Wizard to complete, which I think is pretty awesome. But yes, I will keep you all updated how that goes. I should only need 4 balls. Like, this is most of a ball right here. I should only need 4 balls for the entire thing. I'm really excited to be within, I think it's like 10 rows once you start the V-neck shaping, because it's going to have a gentle slope to it. I think there's about 10 rows, and once you start that, before you put this together with this. I'm super excited about that. I want to get as many things as I can really close to finishing this month, if possible, and I want to make a snow globe hat, so so that our finish it or frog it February, I can be like, finish. I mean, it won't be quite that fast, but finish. Then I can look like I'm really good at what I did, or really fast, and it's really, I have too many projects on needles. Someone asked me to count on Sunday how many projects I have on needles, and just of what I could see on the table, I had at least 30. I want to say if you count the other ones that I missed and the projects I have on needles here, I probably have at least 50, and I know that is laughable compared to...
I think you have more than that. But
you think Okay. I know of at least 5 or 6 things I may be frogging in February, and I will try to do that on camera with y'all. Like, while we're doing Thursday things, maybe I'll be ripping stuff out. So, and y'all can tell me if it's satisfying or terrifying when you watch me do it. So, anyway, I'd like to guess I have at least 50 things on needles, which is a minute number compared to yours. But I think that is most of what I can show good progress on, but they're bigger things than the small things I was doing before. So we should probably get moving to open up the shop. I have someone who's going to start their first sweater today coming in at 10, and sometimes people come in early when they're excited about things. So we should get ready.
We should.
Have you knit a little more on that?
Another row.
Okay, not bad. For
about
how
a
many?
row and a half in.
I mean, you're not at the 300 stitches because you separated sleeves,
Yes.
but you're still probably at like 150 to 200, right? So
it was 69 stitches per sleeve.
Okay, so that's like 130 stitches taken off of that. So yeah, you're down to like 200 something. So, anyway, oh wait, you were at 300 something before.
300.
So you might be 100 something. Anyway, I was thinking 400. Like 400 is the number that sticks in my head better. So tomorrow we will put something. Oh! One more thing, real fast. I want to show you. Tomorrow we're going to put a new thing on sale, and I worked to add my new color to the Flagstaff. It is super bunched up on my needle, so maybe I can spread one side out to show you how the Auxin. See, it's only like a little bitty bottom there. It's like I did like an inch. But that's how the gold and the Auxin of the Harriet Fine are showing up. I think it's going to be really pretty. Just wanted to show you how those colors look and how the knitting is going. Like, instead of the regular little flower or tree clusters, I'm starting with the big diamondy cross things going on right there. So I'll try to make some more work on that. But this yarn, which is fingering weight alpaca and a little bit of nylon, today is the last day to get this 15% off with the code product of the week. And tomorrow, we'll keep that talk to a minimum on Tuesdays, right? But tomorrow we will talk about something else. Inspire me to work on something else. All right. So, we will see y'all later. Have a great rest of your day. Schedule-wise, we do have virtual sit and stitch tonight on Zoom, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Get in with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
And we'll do that again on Friday. Same time. Same number to get in. The next Sunday, dual platform virtual sit and stitch will be February 12th. Mark your calendars now so you can jump in on that. More details as it gets closer. But anything else?
Nope. We already have one question for Dear Becky and Lizzie.
Okay. If you have any questions for that, that's our Thursday episode. Email liz@sundragonartandfiber.com. All right. Think we have our bases covered for the moment. If not, we'll get back to you or leave us a comment. Subscribe, because here comes our lesson. Subscribe, because we're almost at 1360. Talk to you later.